some really happy, quiet moments with my grandfather over a margarita. I am going home today. Wow. I need a pack still, and I need to get my apartment like a little bit more ready for that, but yeah, I leave today. I should be packing and like washing dishes, but I have just been doing the TikTok doom scroll, and probably after I finish this cup of coffee I will get to work, but for right now, after how crazy yesterday was, I just need to sit and do nothing. I'm so frantic right now. I'm just trying to get everything done. I've been packed. I'll show you guys later. But I'm dropping off my extra set of car keys and some cookies to people. And then, I mean, by that point, I think I'm good besides like finishing up doing my dishes. So yay! I've got my main suitcase packed. The only thing I need to find, if I can, is my beret. Then my carry-on, which like, yeah, it squishes down a lot, which is great. And then I've got my personal item, which the only things I need to put in there are this hat, my water bottle, and a book. And then I should all be good. But God, has it been a lot of running around and very stressful. I left my house about 11:30 to get to the Louisville airport. It was kind of the best way for me to get to California because it's not easy, and this is kind of the start of a very long travel day, although it wasn't as exhausting as some might have been over the years. So check-in was a pretty easy process, and then I got to security. The line was a bit long, but I do like how they have the different bios for the dogs. And then I just got through security pretty quickly once I actually got to the front of the line. I didn't have to take anything out. And I then got to enjoy a lot of the Christmas decorations. Like, they've got the trees all over the place, and this big tree in the center of the Louisville airport with little airplanes on it. They were trying to make it a bit more festive, and you've got that night at atrium and all that. But yeah, it was pretty smooth sailing for this part. I have made it to the airport. Everything went really smoothly. The drive was fine, no traffic. I got my apartment relatively clean. It's not as clean as I wish it had been, but I'm just happy to be here and just kind of like, okay, my portion is done. You get what I mean? I just need to get on the plane, and that is it. It's gonna be a relatively long travel day, but not like crazy long. I've got like a 2-hour layover in Phoenix, and then I'm gonna be back home. There was also like nobody here, which is like kind of crazy. I don't know, I expected a lot more people to be around, but it wasn't bad, and TSA was relatively smooth. I didn't even have to take anything out, even though I didn't have pre-check, so pretty nice. So I started reading this book while at the airport, but also I decided against continuing to read it at least while I was there, because they requires a like plane making an emergency landing, which I was like, ooh, that is not something I really want to be reading at the airport right now. So then I was able to board my flight. It was pretty smooth. We also actually didn't have a lot of people on the plane. It was about 50 open seats. And then we started flying mostly into the clouds. We actually spent about an hour over just clear clouds. Which meant that we had a decent amount of turbulence as it kind of went along, different textures almost. I think this is kind of the first spot where we started to see a little bit of the breakup of the clouds, and that's again where we started to have a little bit more turbulence. Nothing crazy, but just enough that it was like, everybody keep your seatbelts on because we don't know what's gonna happen. Things can kind of go all over the place. But after a bit, it cleared up once we got out of the Midwest, and it was just kind of beautiful flying. I honestly fell asleep for portions of it. like there's a lot of kids on the flight, but only like a 2-year-old who was really wanting to sit on her dad's lap. That was the only kid that was having a little bit of a struggle. And landing into Arizona was actually beautiful. You could kind of see, I think that's the Grand Canyon, I don't know. If not, it's just a beautiful desert. And get to see a bit of the rivers and like these different lakes, and I just was really enjoying watching as we were landing. I mean, I'm a sucker for watching a landing and takeoff, so that's nothing new. I was flying out of the D terminal, but the D terminal is almost split into 2 different sections, and my flight got into one section and then I was flying out of another. But they had these really cool mosaics as I was walking through. So this part is just like kind of the canyon, because I believe Phoenix is surrounded by mountains, or at least that's what it looked like when flying in. And I just thought it was really pretty, a lot nicer than what I'd seen before. And then you've got it at night, or maybe that's just the ground with all the different minerals, as well as the actual flooring was kind of a fun mosaic. Yeah, I've flown into Phoenix before, but I may have been at a different airport in Phoenix, and that was a pretty rough day because the jet bridge just kept being broken. I didn't really record in the Phoenix airport, but here is me just being super tired, showing you guys my emotions while waiting for my flight because it was delayed about 30 minutes due to who knows what at the time. So we finally were able to get on the plane. It was still relatively empty. There was like 25 open seats, but I had a couple sitting next to me. They were very nice. We chatted. It was a bit hard to get photos on this flight because the guy that was sitting in the aisle had his light on, but I do just love night flying. It reminds me of soaring over California, and this is like as we were getting into Long Beach, so getting to see all of the different lights. We were actually like right over the ocean at points, and that was like super cool to see, just where they had the oil rigs and you could see the lights reflecting off of the water. And it was just beautiful, and I'm happy to be home. So I have finally made it back to California. I don't know how this vlog is going to go because I couldn't really record my voice, so I just have a lot of photos of me in the air, like mostly of the like window. Overall, it was a good flight. When I was in Arizona, because I went Louisville to Phoenix to Long Beach, I went to a restaurant to get dinner where I got some tacos that were really good. I forgot to take a photo of them. It was just like pole poblano with the tacos had, it was just like the sauce, the chicken, and some onion and goat cheese. Actually, it was really good. And then I also got myself a margarita because I was missing my grandfather, because I got reminded about it because I have some really happy, quiet moments with my grandfather over a margarita. And I just got reminded that on the flight, so I proceeded to get a margarita for myself because why not? And overall, the flights were good. My first flight, there was a small child who was like 2 years old, and all she wanted to do was sit on dad's lap. She did not want to be in her own seat. And like the reason I say 2 is because she looked very young but had her own seat, which makes me think that she was just over the age limit. And on the actual like landing, she was actually I think in her father's lap, so like theoretically that's not legal, but I don't think anybody cared because she was like inconsolable. Although also I don't know how much the dad had been doing beforehand to like keep her calm. He was able to distract her a bit once like the flight attendants had given him like a coloring book or something for her to do, or maybe like a sticker book, but it was rough. That like she was having a harder time with the flight than the probably 5-month-old that was sitting like directly behind me. And then the second flight, there was like a mechanical problem on a other like plane, not the one that we were going to be on, but one that was coming into Phoenix that some like a crew member and some of the passengers were on, so we were delayed a bit. So by the time we actually landed, 3 other flights had landed, or 2 other flights at least had landed, so there was just like a sea of people at baggage claim. It was crazy because like we had landed and we had like landed really fast. I initially thought the runway was super short, but then my dad was like, okay, did you turn right or left? And I was like, right. And he's like, okay, that was the long runway. He just didn't want to back taxi. So like, yeah, my dad used to work next to that airport, so he knows some of the things with it. But yeah, that was, we had landed, and immediately like the plane to the left of us was like unloading passengers, and then we were unloaded, and then as we're walking over, another plane is also being unloaded. It was absolutely like crazy, because also this is on Southwest, so they only have 737s. And I'll also be honest, I love flying in at night because it reminds me of soaring over California. Like, I'll see if I can find a clip or like a still of kind of towards the end of soaring over California. And I always feel like that when landing at night. It's great. So I was referencing Disney a lot because the other thing was with that landing, I was like, brakes, brakes, where are the brakes? Brakes! But that's bound to happen. But yeah, I'm home and I'm tired, and the dog was like kind of happy to see me, but also like more excited to see my mom, even though she'd only been gone for like maybe like 3 hours. I have been gone since November. But it's like after he got his like chin scratches from my mom, he went to me. So it works. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.